Good evening, everyone. I am Marian Casilla, and I'm going to discuss the Chapter 4, Extinguishment of Obligation, particularly Subsection 3, Tender of Payment and Consignation, from Article 1256 to 1261. So let's proceed to Article 1256, Tender of Payment and Consignation. Article 1256, if the creditor to whom tender of payment has been made refuses without just cause to accept it, the debtor shall be released from responsibility by the consignation of the thing or sum due. So let's define first the meaning of tender of payment and consignation. Tender of payment is the act on the part of the debtor of offering to the creditor the thing or amount due. So it is a monetary obligation to offer the payment. And if it is an obligation to give something, then you are actually offering the object. So your tender of payment is valid if you are tendering a legal tender. So ano-ano ba yung mga legal tender? Ito yung money or the things na pwedeng i-compel kay creditor na i-accept dahil kung hindi niya yun i-accept ay magkakaroon ng mora accipiendi sa part ni debtor. So, tender of payment is an act preparatory to consignation. Yung consignation naman is the act of depositing the thing or amount due with the proper court when the creditor does not desire or refuses to accept payment or cannot receive it after complying with the formalities required by law. So, after mo mag-tender ng payment, the creditor cannot accept or refuses to accept the payment without a valid reason. So what should you do as a debtor? You can consign it with the proper authority to extinguish your obligation. I-deposit mo yung payment or things sa court, so you have to file a case for this matter. And as a debtor, it is not your fault and unfair ito para sa'yo dahil you may become liable for damages or interest just because ayaw tanggapin ni creditor. So to avoid this situation, you do the consignation. And take note guys na kailangan mo munang mag-tender of payment for a valid consignation because that is the general rule. So in order that the debtor may be released from his obligation by the consignation of the thing or sum due, ito yung mga requisites for a valid consignation. Number 1, existence of a valid debt which is due. So, hindi dapat nag-prescribe yung utang and it is not founded on illegal cause and consideration. Check if it is due and demandable debt. Number 2, tender of payment by the debtor and refusal without justifiable reason by the creditor to accept it. Number 3, previous notice of consignation to persons interested in the fulfillment of the obligation. So, ito ay dapat before the deposit. So, the consignation must first be announced to the persons interested. Without such notice, yung consignation as a payment is void. Kasi ang purpose nito ay to give the creditor, yung mga persons interested, a chance to reconsider yung previous refusal. And so, may iwasan yung litigation na umabot pa sa court. So, yung pagbibigay ng notice can actually be done simultaneously kasabay ng tender of payment. You can do this by letter. So, nung nag-tender ka ng payment, kasama na yung letter na kung hindi nila tatanggapin, you will be consigning to the court. Number 4, consignation of the thing or sum due. So, ito na yung actual na pagdideposit sa proper court or judicial authority. Yung mismong object or sum that is due, and of course it must be also be accompanied by a proof that the tender has been duly made. So pag na-deposit na yan, it will be considered as property in custodian and will be therefore exempted from attachment and execution. Yun yung effect pag na-deposit na siya. And number 5, subsequent notice of consignation made to the interested parties. So dito merong dalawang notice, yung isa prior sa consignation and yung isa naman notice after the deposit. So this is required under the second paragraph of Article 1258 which we will discuss later. So this is mandatory and so if walang subsequent notice, the consignation is void. Here is the example. Cherise owes Inigo a sum of money On the due date of the obligation, Charis offers to pay the obligation but Inigo refuses to accept the payment without any justifiable reason. So, nag-tender of payment si Charis but ni-refuse ni Inigo without any justifiable reason. So, hindi porket nag-tender of payment na si Charis kay Inigo ay marirelieve na siya from the payment. Ang dapat gawin ni Charis ay to go to court and make a judicial consignation of the payment. And dapat ay ilagay niya sa custody ng court. And kung nag-tender of payment lang si Charis at hindi siya nag-consignation, ang mangyayari lang ay hindi na siya liable to pay interest only from the time of tender of payment. So, the best pa rin talaga na mag-tender of payment than consignation. Kaya magkasama sila sa special forms of payment. And para naman sa refusal ni Inigo or sa refusal ni creditor, take note guys na merong mga instances na valid yung refusal ni creditor to accept the tender of payment kapag number 1, yung tender of payment mo must be in legal tender. So, may ground si creditor to refuse the tender of payment kapag yung bayad ni debtor is not a legal tender. Like yung binayad pala ay promissory note or kaya naman ay cheque. Number 2, it must be include interest. So, kung yung tender of payment ay partial payment lang, yung principal lang yung binayaran, hindi kasama yung interest, then may ground siya for refusal. And number 3, unconditional. Kung yung pagtatender ng payment ay may condition, may right si creditor na mag-refuse kasi dapat unconditional rin. So sabi 'di ba, you cannot have consignation unless you have a valid prior tender of payment. But there are some instances that tender of payment is not required. Pwede nang diretso sa consignation and that is provided under the second paragraph of Article 1256. Consignation alone shall produce the same effect in the following cases. So number 1, when the creditor is absent or unknown or does not appear at the place of payment. So wala si creditor, hindi nagpakita. So hindi ka makakapag-tender of payment. Kaya you can proceed to consignation. Number 2, when he is incapacitated to receive the payment at the time it is due. So, kaysa ibigay mo sa kanya at mawala niya rin, di naman ma-extinguish yung obligation mo. So, you can consign at least to the court. But take note that applicable lang to kapag walang legal representative si incapacitated creditor na pwedeng tumanggap ng tender of payment. Kasi kapag meron naman at alam ni debtor, like halimbawa minor at meron namang parent, so pwede mo sa kanila ibigay, not necessarily na consignation. Pero kapag nagbayad ka at tinanggihan ng parents or legal representative, you can consign. Number 3, when without just cause, he refuses to give a receipt. So, ayaw magbigay ng resibo. So, pag ganun, pwedeng i-consign na lang ni debtor sa court ang bayad niya. Number 4, when 2 or more persons claim the same right to collect. So, marami ang nagkiklaim and hindi mo ma-determine kung para kanino ba talaga ang bayad na yon. So, what you can do is consignation, pumunta ka sa court tapos let them settle their claims sa court. Let the court decide. And number 5, when the title of the obligation has been lost. So, meaning, yung written document na wala. So, much better, i-deposit mo na lang sa court yung tender of payment. So, let's move on to Article 1257. In order that the consignation of the thing due may release the obligor, it must first be announced to the persons interested in the fulfillment of the obligation. The consignation shall be ineffectual if it is not made strictly in consonance with the provision which regulate payment. Ang sabi, para ma-release daw si debtor sa kanyang obligation, dapat merong prior notice to the persons interested. So, ito nga yung sinabi ko kanina. So, sino ba tong mga persons interested? Sila yung mga guarantors, mortgages, solidary debtors, and creditors. So, pag walang prior notice sa kanila, the consignation is void. Yung second paragraph naman, sinasabi lang dyan na yung consignation must also comply with the provisions on payment. So yung na-discuss natin kanina sa rules ng payment, like it should be in legal tender. Next is Article 1258, consignation shall be made by depositing the things due at the disposal of judicial authority, before whom the tender of payment shall be proved in a proper case, and the announcement of the consignation in other cases. The consignation having been made, the interested parties shall also be notified thereof. So these provisions actually just answer the question, how is consignation is actually made? So you should consign it with the proper judicial authority, and they must be proved that tender had been previously made, and meron ring notice to the interested persons that consignation will be made, and also after the consignation was made. So ito lang din yung na-discuss natin kanina sa requisites of a valid consignation. So proceed na tayo sa Article 1259. Article 1259. The expenses of consignation, when properly made, shall be charged against the creditor. So dapat lang naman talaga na liable si creditor sa expenses ng consignation, dahil kung hindi rin naman with this fault or unjust refusal to accept the payment, hindi naman naabot sa point na magkakonsign si debtor. So ang mangyayari, kung i-claim na ni creditor dun sa specific court na pinagdeposituhan ni debtor, bawas na yung makukuha niya dahil ibabawas na dun yung administrative expenses. Pero si debtor naman ang liable for expenses kapag yung consignation is not properly made. So, kailan ba properly made ang consignation? First, when the creditor accepts the things or sum deposited without objection as payment of the obligation. Second, when the creditor questions the validity of the consignation and the court, after hearing, declares that it has been properly made. And third, when the creditor neither accepts nor questions the validity of the consignation, and the court, after hearing, orders the cancellation of the obligation. So that's it for Article 1259. Let's proceed to Article 1260. Article 1260, once the consignation has been duly made, the debtor may ask the judge to order the cancellation of the obligation. Before the creditor has accepted the consignation, or before a judicial declaration that the consignation has been properly made, the debtor may withdraw the thing or the sum deposited, allowing the obligation to remain in force. So kapag na-consign na daw yung thing or sum due sa proper judicial authority, and the consignment was duly made, then the debtor now may ask the judge to order the cancellation of the obligation. And if the order of the obligation had already been issued by the judge, then ang effect niyan sa obligation is ma-extinguish na yung obligation kasi there is already a valid payment of the obligation by tender and consignation. And under the second paragraph, bago pa man ma-accept ni creditor ang consignation or bago pa mag-declare ang judge that the consignation has been properly made, pwede pa ring ma-withdraw ni debtor yung pera or bagay na dineposit niya. So if that's the case, yung obligation niya to pay the creditor will remain in force kasi winidraw niya. So it is the debtor's right. May right pa rin talaga siya to withdraw the thing or amount kasi after all, siya pa rin naman ang owner nung thing or nung pera na dineposit. So pag ganyang case, hindi na si creditor ang magbe-bear ng expenses kundi si debtor. So question, how can the creditor prevent the debtor from exercising the right to withdraw? So the answer is when the creditor immediately accept the consignation. How about if yung consignation is improperly made? What is the effect? So the obligations remain dahil yung consignation is not effective as payment. So same din in case of dismissal of the case. So kung yung case for the consignation ay dinismiss ng court, consignation will produce no effect. How about if inaccept na ni creditor yung consignation or the court has already declared it to be proper? Pwede pa rin ba i-withdraw ni debtor yung thing or payment? The answer is yes, and it is according to Article 1261. Article 1261, if the consignation having been made, the creditor should authorize the debtor to withdraw the same. He shall lose every preference which he may have over the thing. The co-debtors, guarantors, and sureties shall be released. So, pwede pa rin ma-withdraw ni debtor yung thing or payment na dineposit niya if authorized ni creditor, pero hindi na as a matter of right ni debtor. Pag pumayag si creditor, ang effect, obviously, the obligations remain, and si creditor loses every preference which he may have over the thing. And the co-debtors, guarantors, and sureties are released unless nagbigay din sila ng consent na i-withdraw ni debtor yung dineposit. Example, Jersey is indebted to Nikolai in the sum of 10,000 pesos, with Sancho as the guarantor. On the due date of the obligation, Jersey offered payment but Nikolai refused to accept the same. So Jersey made the consignation. Subsequently, Jersey withdrew the deposit after securing the consent of Nikolai. So in this case, under Article 1261, Nikolai shall lose whatever preference he may have over the amount, and Sancho, the guarantor, shall be released. And in the same example, kung si Jersey and Sancho naman are solidarily liable to Nikolai, Sancho is released only from his solidary liability, but he is still liable to Nikolai for his share in the obligation, which is 5,000 pesos.